They're leading NCAA in face-off percentage.
Could be decided from the dot. You have to keep the ball out of the hands of the Syracuse attack.
And that's been Mullen's one glaring issue so far is the violations, and he begins with one today.
And we see running off the field Jack McDonald wearing 51. We haven't seen him all season for Maryland. That is a huge guy to get back, especially today. He is going to bring a lot of experience to that Maryland back line.
Tyler, just 8 goals in the win over Loyola. That's going to have to be better today for Maryland against this Syracuse offense. Here's Keegan, who had the game winner. And Maryland operates from X here with Whittier back to Keegan. Maryland was pretty stagnant offensively until that fourth quarter, trailing by 3. Erksa had a big one. It's turned away by McCool. Jimmy McCool has been one of the best keepers in all of college lacrosse so far. Good start for him.
And Maryland really wants to feed number 10. There's a reason why he is a Tewaaraton watch list guy. He was excellent last season for Maryland. He's just not been able to really get it going so far this year.
Egan spins to his right, and that's walled off well. Sam English caught on the defensive side here for Cuse. Here's Spanos, the Big Ten Offensive Player of the Week.
Maryland's really trying to attack English.
Ford against Rice, short stick matchup. Ford turns it wide. 23 on the shot clock here. It's in the stick of Erksa, former Big Ten Freshman of the Year. Tried to go two-man game, the man fell down, and Whittier puts it on the turf. And the Orange come up with it. That's Figueres who gets it back to his goalie, McCool. And a stop early for the Orange. Here's Rice in transition.
Turnovers have been a big problem for Maryland all year. And Ben, when we were watching that Syracuse-Towson game, turnovers were something the Orange really took advantage of. They do a good job clearing the ball. And again, if you're Maryland, you have to cut down on the mistakes. You cannot let the Orange have the ball a lot today.
The Orange have been one of the best offensive teams in the country. Here's Leo looking for revenge today after what happened last year in Syracuse. Schaller on Spallina. Expect this matchup all day. 2-7 and White has been guarding the top guy from each side so far. A little bit of two-man game. Spallina toward the front. He passes away, gets over Hiltz. He has plenty of room to convene and pick up the ground ball. Hiltz down the alley, ball on the ground. That's Stamos who knocked it out. And that's McDonald who picked it up. His first action of the season. See if Maryland gets its own middies on here.
Stamos is a guy the Orange know really well, Ben. The overtime hero last year.
Got some second line minis in here. Jack Schultz playing in his third game. That's a freshman out of New Jersey.
He's one of 2 freshmen. John Tillman has played a lot this year. It's him and Peter Lake.
Another chance here for Maryland. Schultz with it. Maybe two-man game here with Kelly. Spanos opposite wing. Lefty fling, that's wide. Maryland keeps possession with the chase.
And Maryland has to back up their shots today, Ben. Again, you need to play so clean on offense to beat this Orange team.
Schultz toward the front, he's walled off. Tillman said a lot of new guys in this offense trying to just gel things together here through the first couple weeks. Kelly turns it, and that's deflected wide. McCool has it behind the goal. And another stop for this Syracuse defense, which is much improved this year.
Yeah, that was 42 in blue, able to knock that down to his goalie. That's an excellent play. Syracuse's defense, who has been so good this year, looks the part already.
Tyler McCarthy, second line midi, has it opposite end of the field. Just so much depth on this Syracuse offense. Anybody can score in any given possession. Had 4 different players with hat tricks in the win over Towson. That is just absurd, Tyler.
But this is the best defense they have faced.
Roa with a short stick on him. This is the matchup they want. Goes back to McCarthy. He sweeps to his left and just dumps it on the ground. One more pass. Deer, the shot bounces just wide. That was a good look for Trey Deer, the sophomore.
That's so unselfish there by Syracuse to have that extra pass away. It looked like McCarthy had a good look to cut inside, and instead he passed it out. And it created a really, really good look at the end there for Deer.
Joey Spallina to Orton watch list, the NCAA leader in points with 21 so far. Had 10 in a game against Vermont last week. Off to Hiltz. Back up top, McCarthy. Maryland doing a good job to wall off so far. Deer behind the back. Wow, that rings off the pipe. And there's number 1 in white out of the cage. He might be in trouble here. Ball on the ground. The Cuse pick it up. And McNaney has to retreat here. Orange win another possession. We saw it on Monday, Tyler. You could see looks all over the place from the Syracuse team, and we already got one behind the back here today.
They're going to take so many different types of shots today, Ben. It's just how their offense works.
Spallina tries to work around Schaller, nothing doing. Little two-man game, this is where he operates the best. Tries to pass it on the ground. Gorno didn't see it. And a shot goes wide from Thompson.
Thompson has been an excellent second option behind Spallina this year with 7 goals.
Here's Birtwistle behind the cage. Jackson Birtwistle, another top midi option. Got the second line middies for the Orange. Here's McCarthy. Hiltz from no angle just rifles it in the mountain of snow on the sideline here. Syracuse in the elements for the first time this year, Tyler. First 3 games all in the JMA Wireless Dome.
And that's not a small thing.
Syracuse has been very good at home. Ball on the ground, Burles knocked it free. But a loose ball push called against him. Home fans don't like that call.
And you can't let Syracuse have possessions like this, Ben, where they just keep getting, more and more opportunities. That's now twice that the ball has been on the ground and into a Maryland stick, and yet Syracuse still has it at the end of the day.
In these situations, it feels like a matter of time before the Orange break through. Nearly right there from Hiltz.
Due to time constraints, we now move ahead in the action.
Chase. That's unbelievable from 27 in white.
But that's, again, a great job by 22 to find Finn Thompson cutting. Maryland's defense looks more confused right now than they have all year. And it is the best offense they've played, that's for sure.
Jordy Holmes spins out of 42. And he just dumps to the other side of the field. Now Maryland can get its reinforcements on here. Trailing 1-0 in College Park against number 2 Syracuse.
You saw that stat pop up. This is the first time that Maryland has trailed in a first quarter all year.
That's exactly right. The team hadn't given up any first quarter goals. Schultz, second line midi, gives it down low. Here is Jack Dowd, the transfer from Salisbury. Long shot to top corner from Stobaugh. And we're tied in College Park. Elijah Stobaugh's first of the year.
John Tillman is trying to switch things up on this offensive end. He gets some more guys run, and the reward, what a goal. Stobaugh paints the corner, and we're tied.
Stobaugh, product out of Florida at the IMG Academy. Got some run on the second line last year. And how about Tillman's use of these second lines today? Back to the dot we go. So far 2-0 in favor of Shea Keithler against John Mullen. This is a long GB, and who wants it? Out of the stick of McDonald initially, or rather Canfield, and Maryland keeps, Syracuse will have possession here.
Yeah, I think it went out off of the stick of Canfield. And again, Maryland now has their top 4 poles. With the return of McDonald, it's Burles, Schaller, Canfield, and McDonald.
Spallina has been dishing it all over the place so far. Ball's on the ground momentarily from Deere, and he gets it back. And it's loose again. More loose change for Trey Deere, and he gives it away. Wants nothing to do with it after that.
Great job by Thomas Gravino there, the shorty.
Oh, another behind the back goes off the post from Thompson. We've become accustomed to seeing that. And this is unbelievable what we've seen from Syracuse so far in terms of just the looks. Maryland's gonna have to get this clear. And that's a good pass up ahead to Canfield.
How about Will Schaller? He's now kind of the leader of the defensive unit, scooping up a ground ball. I've been really impressed by Maryland's ability to do that today.
In the front, it's saved by McCool. That was a great look for Maryland.
It was Gravino again, the shorty. He just took it up and he said, hey, why not? You know, that's a great, great look. And Syracuse's defense, Ben, just has not given up many of those today.
Not at all. Already 5 saves for McCool. People have been so high on him. I mean, he had big shoes to fill with Will Mark departing this offseason. Here's Michael Leo. Down the alley, turns it wide.
I think that McNaney may have gotten a piece. Who would have expected a goalie battle with 2 teams this talented?
Syracuse offense entered the day averaging 18 goals per game through its first 3. That's a long look, and Roa sneaks it by McNaney. Cuse back in front.
And that's the type of shot that McNaney has usually been so comfortable with from distance. And if you're Gravino, you've got to step to him. You've got to be aggressive. Syracuse could shoot from anywhere. And he just put it middle. You know, it hits that bottom center part of the net. They could just score in so many ways.
And Luke Roa just scores. No assists, but he's got 9 goals. Violation here on Keithler.
Oh, that's Crater coming in for the first time today, Ben. After Keithler had won all of his. Maryland really trusts both face-off guys. Remember Crater, he scored that big goal against Richmond.
Maryland's had a lot to work with on the face-off unit, but Syracuse another possession after just taking the lead.
And again, that's why the dot is so critical for Maryland today. How demoralizing is it if you're the Terps? You want to try to respond, and instead this great offense gets another shot.
Syracuse spins it fast. A look for Burt Whistle. McNaney gobbles up the bouncer. That's a big save from number 1 in white. It keeps Maryland within 1.
That's a tough look to give up if you're Maryland. I thought that was a better look than the one that resulted in the goal from Roa, but that's just how talented number 8 is.
Bryce Ford thought about it, rolls back. Keegan, middle of the field. Has the short stick on him, he beats him. And he scores! A big one from Matthew Keegan, ties it up with 5 ticks to go in quarter 1.
That's huge for the Terps to be able to tie this game up before the quarter break, and he just snaked through the defense. 36 in white has been a revelation out of the portal for Maryland this year.
Transfer from Binghamton, had over 90 goals in his career with the Bearcats. Face-off dot one more time. That's Crater once more. Dwan picks it up and just fires it to the other end. And that's the end of the first quarter. And Mullen scoots it right back to Sam English, the former Princeton Tiger in his second year here with Syracuse. First possession of the second quarter goes to the Orange. So Cuse has found some success recently at the face-off dot, Tyler.
Yeah, Mullen has done a good job turning it around.
Roa, you don't want his hands to get free. He does, and McNaney turns it away. Goes right back to English so Syracuse can reset. English sweeps through the middle, gives it up. Leo just rolls back. See how Maryland can try to keep Syracuse in check here for another quarter. That pass tipped away by Schaller. Trying to find Spallina at X. That's where he operates the best.
It's just disruptive from Schaller. That's kind of a message. It's not going to be easy.
Spallina tried to go around the world. Burles picks up the loose ball.
Like I said, Will Schaller, he knows the tricks. He's studied the film.
2-7 is always watching film. That's been apparent and known from what the coaching staff has said about him. And Stamos runs a man over. How about that for a D-midi?
That'll get the bench fired up.
You could hear it. Spanos behind the goal. 4 goals last week, 3 in that final quarter to help Maryland come from behind and beat Loyola. But a much taller task at hand today. This is a phenomenal Syracuse team.
Terps really want to take the lead, Ben. They want to take control and start to, really enforce their game and their physical style of play.
Bryce Ford, the Fairfield transfer, 50 points in back-to-back years. Has the short stick on him. A look here for Urksa. Great defense as he is walled off, and Rice picks up the ground ball. The Orange love to push in transition. And Rice will give it off and get off the field. It's kind of rare you see Syracuse with the D-mids up on the offensive side. They like to sub them off quickly, but in those situations, they do trust their guys.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, Ben, you have to get the ball clear, and if that means less time for this offense, so be it. They have enough talent that they can work quickly. They love to play fast anyway.
Syracuse spins it very fast, much faster than we've seen from Maryland. Here it is behind the goal. Hiltz walled off. A pass to the front. Deere might have tried to go behind the back again. This ball's loose, and Hiltz has got it. He is really sneaky athletic, and he has gotten himself into the best shape of his life this season. It has shown.
And I think more than that, he's just so smart. He knows where to be to make a play.
McCarthy thought about it. And the Orange began spinning it. Burt Whistle goes back to Spallina. 2-man game, there's the pick. And here's Finn Thompson. Any guy on the field in blue is a threat to score at any moment, and Maryland knows it. McCarthy spins to his left, back to his right. Here's the slide. Might have come too early. Shot deflected away. That's Larkin who got over there to deflect it. That slide might have came too early, Tyler. That was an open look.
That's a great play by 26. He's really stepped up in a larger role this year with McDonald down. He's going to keep playing even though he's back.
Spallina tried to go for Thompson. Loose. And there's Larkin to get it. Here comes 26 in white in transition. Fires and scores! A.J. Larkin puts Maryland in front.
That's going to be a moment that he will forever remember. The great defensive play. Then he gets the GB, and you knew he was going to let it fly. The bouncer is in. Look at how much it means to him. That's the type of goal that just changes a game for a team. It gets everybody fired up. It gives them belief. And all of a sudden, Maryland has the momentum.
Big face-off here between Mullen, and there's Crater once again. So far, face-off 3-3 on both sides. And a violation against Crater once again.
Keithler was doing so well. I don't know if he's hurt or what. I see him down on the sideline, and he won 3 of 4. Now Crater has lost all that he has taken.
That goal for Larkin, the second of his career. Here's Leo. Syracuse looks for the response, and they've got the guys to do it. Look inside, Thompson, quick stick and a score. Tie game.
And that's why the face-offs are so important. You know, you feel that momentum go back in Maryland's favor, and all of a sudden, Syracuse, they win it at the dot. And when you get this offense the ball, great things happen. Finn Thompson is so talented.
Due to time constraints, we now move ahead in the action.
Either side today. For Maryland, defending home turf. For Syracuse, this would really be a win that announces yourselves as a real title contender against a team that's in the Final Four, it seems, every year.
Last time this Syracuse team beat Maryland in College Park, it was in the NCAA title game in 1995. Long time coming, 30 years. Big possession here for Maryland, up a goal.
Especially with the fact that they called a timeout here. You cannot come up empty-handed if you burn one of those.
That's exactly right. Kelly gives to Keegan. Sweeps through the middle, can't get his hands free. And ball put on the ground. Ford tries to fight for it, and a good pickup from Cuse.
It's a big stand by the Orange again coming out of that timeout. For them to be able to hold the Terps without a goal there and give their offense a chance to tie this game, that's huge.
That was Carter Rice defending and getting the ground ball for Syracuse. McCarthy has got a lot of work in the midfield today. Hiltz walled off well by Canfield. Still with it in his stick. Tries to swim around, sweeps toward the middle. A pass knocked down by Larkin. And timeout called. So far, Syracuse, 17 shots with 10 of them on goal. Offense has peppered Maryland from all over the place, but the defense has held tall with McNaney. He's got 7 saves. Spallina through the middle, long shot, he scores! That's exactly how you draw it up out of the timeout, and Syracuse ties this game.
You can't let 22 have a look.
Joey Spallina, the NCAA leader in points, already had an assist in this one.
That's so good from English, setting that screen, and if you give Spallina an inch of space, he's gonna paint the corner.
One of the most transcending players in the entire nation. Up to 23 points on the year. Entered the day with 6 more points than the second leading guy in all of NCAA. Face-off dot. Keithler and Mullen. Might have been a push in the back, there was. This is a win for Maryland, and a big one.
Shea Keithler is down 5 of 7. He's done his job so far at the dot. The question is, can the offense continue to make plays on this end of the field and keep up with the Orange?
In the stick of Ford, the transfer out of Fairfield. 2 minutes to go. Maryland would love a lead at the half.
You know, it's so brutal, Ben, for Maryland. You call that timeout.
Whittier through the middle, a lot of traffic, balls on the ground, and it's picked up by Figueres. He just gives it back to his goalie, McCool. And calm, cool, collected is this Syracuse defense today. All season for that matter. Maryland applies a heavy ride here. English gets it over the timeline. Had a great career with the Princeton Tigers, and a wise timeout decision here from Syracuse. The last time it resulted in a Joey Spallina game-tying goal. Now back to the drawing board for Gary Gate and his crew. Last time out of the timeout, the man with the ball in his stick scored, Spallina.
And what a shock. They give it to him again.
Swings back to the near side. Leo, how did his hands get so free? He rings it off the crossbar. That can't happen. That was a defensive breakdown for Maryland, and it's lucky.
You can't let anybody in blue just walk right down Broadway. You have to respect everybody on the field right now for Syracuse.
And here's Roa. Gives it to English.
Remember, he set that pick on the Spallina goal. Now he's got it in his stick. Let's see what 15 can do.
Another one of the Canadian products on this Syracuse team. Has the short stick on him and fires it wide. 35 ticks to go here in the first half, and Spallina is the man who wants the ball in his stick right now. There's 2-7 in white on him, Schaller.
There's English. He's going to look to set another pick.
Schaller does a good job to get over it. Spallina scores anyway. Back-to-back goals for the NCAA leader in points, and the Orange go in front here late in the first half.
Carbon copy of the goal that tied it. Just an excellent job by English to slow down Schaller even for a split second, because when you've got Joey Spallina, a split second's all you need. 22 gets to the front and gives the Orange back the lead.
And a big face-off here if you're Maryland. Can't give Syracuse another chance, already with the lead. 2-goal run here for the Orange. Have them in a good spot. This is Crater at the dot and falls over. Ground ball still loose. Who's going to come up with it? It's Canfield. Or rather, McDonald, making his first appearance this year. Did not play the first 2 games. And Dwan just got the ball out of the stick of Kelly as time is close to coming to an end here, and now finally will. First one of the second half belongs to Maryland, and that's Jack McDonald coming from the wing for the ground ball. First possession, McDonald takes it himself, and McCool stonewalls him. That was a chance, and it's a good thing we highlighted those goalies, because that's early impact here in half number 2 for McCool.
Maryland is trying to steal goals on special teams. You know, it can be so hard on 6-and-6 men to break down the Syracuse attack. And Maryland already has a pole goal in this game from Larkin. Just 3 times in the first 30 minutes has their offensive unit beaten McCool.
Here's Leo. He looks to dodge often. Through the middle, fires, it's wide.
McNady may have gotten a piece again.
But now you got Spallina to chase, and this is where you can set up well if you're Cuse. He's got the last 2 goals for the Orange.
Rowe can shoot from anywhere.
He does, and he turns it high. I know Roa's got a big attendance for him here today in College Park. Potomac native and played at St. John's High School in Washington, D.C. Michael Leo, we touched on, had the controversial, what should have been the game-winning goal before the violation fell into the goal mouth. And Stamos one on the other end. And Cuse, a bouncing shot from English right in the stick of McNaney. Here come the Terps in transition. There's Stamos right on cue. He's tripped up.
Flag.
And the flag comes out.
The ref had it stuck in his pocket. It took a while for it to come. And that's one of those from Syracuse that you just kind of have to do. You have to do something. You cannot let Maryland get forward 4-on-3.
This is an emotional game today. You could hear it just from the warm-ups.
That's number one, the leader from all the way back in net, yelling at the officials to throw the flag. And like I said, the flag only came out late because it was stuck. And that's why I said flag. He was just trying to get it out. Here's another look as Spanos is moving forward. That's a guy that Hughes remembers well.
We're going to see the first team man up today. Had been a really clean game so far.
And that's 60 seconds, Ben. That's a huge, huge penalty. And that's what Logan McNaney does. He creates that opportunity on the break. He finds Spanos, and now it's a must-have for Maryland.
2 on the crease for Maryland, including Eliot Dubick. Here's Jack Dowd up top. Maryland spins it. One more to Urksa. Back to Spanos. He's got space. Didn't take the shot. Syracuse in rotation. First man-up opportunity today.
Syracuse is so good at this zone.
Dowd, McCool denies it. Back in front, and right on the doorstep, it's Eliot Dubick, and he ties this game. What a moment for the Winston Churchill native.
His only job on this team is to stand in the middle on man-up situations. Why him? That's why. Great awareness, finds the ball, and beats the goalie. That's a huge, huge play in this game. He just stole a goal to tie it.
His family has such an insane legacy at this school. And here he is, he gets his time on the man-up unit, and he scores the biggest goal of his career to date.
He's a specialist, and in lacrosse, it's always so cool to see a guy that works on one thing all the time, and when he gets this opportunity to show that, he comes through. I think that's a great job by John Tillman to kind of put him aside and, you know, create this role for him. It's an important role, it's an important goal, and it's 5-5.
So here we get a look, another one at the Syracuse offense. Tyler, what did you see from it in the first half?
I saw the most talented unit in the country playing against the best competition that they've faced. And boy, has it been fun.
Sure has.
They can beat you in so many different ways. They can score with so many different types of shots. Everybody has a cannon. And everybody's just so smart.
Here's McCarthy. He's a guy that hasn't really shot it today. He's had a couple of open looks, though. Hiltz on the near side. Canfield shades him behind the goal. It goes back up top. Larkin slides, and he picks him up. Cuse loves to set the screens up high. Shot clock winds down to 5. Something's going to happen. Cuse might have to just dump this one away. And shot clock violation. Terps with the defensive stand after the goal.
After the juice goal. Remember what happened last time when Larkin scored? Maryland had the momentum, and then they gave it away. Let's see if the Terps can capitalize this time and score 2 in a row to keep this building on fire.
Maryland's offense already off to a much better start through the first couple quarters compared to last week. Only 2 goals entering the fourth quarter before the explosion.
And again, when you get those, you know, special teams goals, those atypical goals, it gives your offensive group so much more confidence, Ben.
Ford up at the top. Maryland keeps it moving. Ford back to his right. Long shot, and a stick denied it. Out in front of the goal, Kelly tried to pick it up, and this ball's loose. Who wants it? Ford's got it. And he wins another possession for the guys in white.
That's a great ground ball. Maryland's trying to get 45 in white going. Gorno was on the field for a long time now. Finally, the Terps have their guys.
That's a great cut, and the shot is saved by McCool.
Due to time constraints, we now move ahead in the action.
For Syracuse, can they take advantage?
And another save by McNaney. And he's in double digits for the third time this year in 3 games.
I'm just giddy watching this. I mean, this is just such great lacrosse from both sides.
Schaller with it. Good push pass to Ford.
Maryland is so good on the clear, breaking down the ride and just getting the ball to guys across midfield. Syracuse, I think, is one of the best teams on the ride in the country because they're so good at subbing. They're so disciplined. And they're so aggressive. You know, those guys on the offensive end, Ben, they want to make your life miserable as you get it up.
And for reference, Tyler, Syracuse had forced 20 unsuccessful clears through 3 games.
Which is unbelievable.
Keegan, relentless. Spallina tries to make his life difficult. No topside for Keegan. That's good work from Jake Spallina. Little 2-man game, Spanos and Whittier. That's Dwan on Spanos. That's not the matchup you want. He puts it wide. Urksa there to chase.
That's a defensive win for the Orange.
Yeah, the shot clock has winded out. Urksa tosses it away. Shot clock violations galore in this third quarter.
And you have to give so much credit to the defensive unit. The offense has not been able to get going out of the break for Syracuse. And let's face it, that's just not something that they're used to. And yet the defense has been able to lock it down and keep it close. And I think right now the message from Gary Gate to his defensive guys is, Ben, they've just got to hang on until the offense can get back going again. They're just too talented to not be able to.
Syracuse spins it quickly here for Leo. And that hit off the side netting. That's a good look, though, from Leo. And McNaney maybe didn't even see it at first.
Is it, though? Because I just think that kind of comes across as rushed. Have we seen Syracuse score that this year? Absolutely. But at the same time, you know, we've seen such good ball movement from the Orange all day long, and you're kind of settling there, I think, for a tough angle shot against one of the best goalies in the country.
You and I watched the game on Monday against Towson, and a lot of the looks that Syracuse got, we knew that Maryland wasn't going to have them give up those same kind of looks. And that's what we've seen as a flag comes in here. So Maryland a chance here to steal one.
And that's so big for Maryland because you've got all the momentum already, and now you can take your time. You know, if you come up empty-handed here, you still have that guaranteed shot man up. So you can kind of take a risk here as we get later into the shot clock.
Behind the goal with Spanos, Big Ten Offensive Player of the Week, dishes to the front. Kelly tried to go behind the back, a little razzle-dazzle, nothing doing there. But Maryland back to the man-up unit.
You're going to see 32 come back out there, along with the first team minis. So now it's going to be Dowd, Ford, and of course Dubick. Dowd was so good at Salisbury, Ben. He's such a smart player. He's a savvy vet. And there's just so much experience on the field right now for Maryland. And this is interesting. It looks like it's going to be Ford taking that spot in the middle that Dubick so often resides.
Dubick,
and now they switch.
Transitions in. Maryland very patient on the last one. It paid off.
But they don't have 60 seconds this time. They've got to go.
Kelly back to down. Spanos, one more to Urksa. Maryland keeps it spinning. Spanos rips and scores! Eric Spanos! Maryland up by 2.
This is the best quarter of lacrosse I've seen Maryland play all year. The defense is doing their job, and the offense just picks up right where they leave off. It's complimentary lacrosse from Maryland. And when I spoke with Spanos earlier this week, you know, that's what he said. He said maybe it takes some time to get the offense going, but when you see the guys at the other end get stop after stop after stop, that builds so much confidence on the offensive end, and Maryland is playing with a lot of confidence right now.
At the dot, Keithler, and a win from the wings. That's McDonald who got it. 7 different goal scorers for Maryland today.
Again,
unbelievable.
You had that stat coming into the Towson game. Syracuse had not had a multi-goal scorer against them. 2 guys on the Tigers got there, but again, it's just you have to come up with new ways. You need to be creative, Ben, to take down this Syracuse defense. They're not going to give you the same looks over and over again.
Maryland has looked complete on the offensive side. A 180 flip from last week.
Against the best defense they've seen all year as well. .30 on the shot clock.
Spanos again, he scores! A 3-goal lead for the Terps in the rain. Eric Spanos back-to-back.
And it's like I just said, you know, it's that spark plug. Once Maryland gets going, you give the ball to number 7. He's that microwave guy. He is the guy that feeds off the energy. He did it last week. He's doing it here again. That's such a big goal with 43 seconds left to go in the third. Out of the locker room, Ben, 4-0 Maryland.
Syracuse had not gone scoreless in a quarter yet. Still some time. If the Orange can get this ground ball, and Mullen does, that's massive for Syracuse.
I would not be surprised if Gate calls a timeout just to try to salvage something here, get the momentum on your side. Looks like they're just going to let it go.
Hiltz to the front. He changes that right away. Owen Hiltz, number 77 in blue, puts the Orange back within 2.
And when you have this much talent, the timeout is not even needed. You just need trust in your guys. Hiltz is just so smart. He beats a great defender there in Canfield. He gets himself in front, and he says, we will not go scoreless here in the third.
Could that be the goal that Cuse needs to give it life? First today for Hiltz. Cuse with 5 different goal scores. And quickly in transition, nearly another one.
That would have been a disaster.
Still 8 seconds. And you get the ball in 22 stick. He puts it to the front, and it's knocked down. And Maryland just puts it in the crease so time can expire here.
And for Maryland, you know, the dot was their big opportunity, I think, Ben, coming into this game. If they could control that, they could control the game, and they haven't. And yet here they are, still winning.
There's a win for Crater. Passes to the outside. Maryland can set up. That's a huge win for Sean Crater. He had been struggling a little bit.
And that's just a really, really smart move by Urksa to slow it down. You know, you've got the 2-goal lead. Your offense is finally able to get going. Just slow it down, take a deep breath, get your guys on the field, and try to pick up where you left off in the third.
Maryland 4 goals in that third quarter. Very much reminiscent of the fourth quarter last week against Loyola. Those are the 2 best quarters Maryland has played all year. I think it's safe to say that.
Absolutely.
Keegan has that one go by his stick. Whittier right there to clean it up. Kelly denied by McCool. Fresh 60 on the clock, though, for Maryland with the chase.
And that's big. That's a great look for Daniel Kelly. He's so patient, Ben. You know, he demands a lot of attention because he can get going at any moment. We saw that earlier with that great goal. Terps are definitely going to keep looking to find him.
7 different goal scorers in this game. Spanos the only one with 2. And he's got the last 2 for Maryland. Maryland remains patient here, up by 2. 30 seconds on the clock. See if Maryland starts to pick it up here. Urksa, the junior, gives back to Spanos down low. Back up top. No look there for Whittier. Passes it inside. Forward, lets it fly, and he's got it. Terps regain the 3-goal lead.
Good things come to those who wait. Maryland had a few looks on that possession, but they just kept waiting, knowing that they would get a better one. And I don't know if you can get a better look than that for Ford. And he delivers 9-6. This is the best Maryland's offense has looked all year.
And what a pass from Zach Whittier, his 3rd assist of this season. Number 13 in white has been a very reliable passing option from X. Back to the dot with Crater and Mullen. Here's a fight for it. That pull of McDonald going to work. And there's Crater to get it. He's gonna have to get rid of this. McDonald right there to pick it up. That's alertness right there from 51 in white.
You think they missed 51?
Maryland can slow it down here, and it does.
I feel like we've been saying his name all day. He's been so good for this team for so long.
He's got 6 ground balls in this game, Tyler.
Right. What an impact he has had from the wing.
See if Maryland just keeps this same flow offensively. If Cuse gives any kind of adjustment here. Cuse has been persistent in this man defense throughout today. Forward again, McCool into the catching stick. Are you a fan of that shot there, Tyler?
I am, because, you know, you want to get it into the stick of the guy that's hot, and that's kind of what we saw with Spanos at the other end, at the end of that 3rd, and we just saw Ford beat him, you know, on a similar look. But McCool is a really, really good goalie. He's been exceptional this season. He's had a good day, double-digit saves for both guys in net.
That's exactly right. English to the middle. He puts it wide. That was a good dodge from Sam English. His role has been a little bit different, as you mentioned today. He's been setting that high screen for Spallina. We'll see if we see that here.
There's 15 lurking. There it is.
Right on cue, and Spallina tries to wrap it around McNaney.
I just don't know how many times, you know, you're going to keep trying that if you're Syracuse. It worked twice. It hasn't worked since.
English puts it just high and wide, and Maryland gets the chase. That's not a great shot from English with no one to chase.
Syracuse is frustrated right now. They're averaging 18 goals a game. It's come easy for them. So far this season, they have not faced a team like Maryland, and they have not played in these conditions. And they're just having a lot of trouble, Ben, dealing with this Maryland defense.
Stovall gets the ground ball after it was knocked out. Tyler, Tillman referenced the team's urgency picking up in the second half against Loyola, and that's carried into today. Are you feeling those same kind of vibes from what you saw last week?
Absolutely.
And that one just goes wide. And the deflection right to McCool. 39's out of the cage. We'll have to find a way to clear here. And that's a nifty pass over his head to Grace, and Cuse out of danger.
Urgency is so important. You know, Maryland, especially in that game against Loyola, the offense got going at the right time. And now, when you talk about urgency, it's, Syracuse's turn. Can the offense finally get going? They've scored just once here in the second half. We have not seen them struggle at any point in any game this season up until tonight. How are they going to respond to this adversity? They certainly have the talent to do it, but can they get those results?
And McCarthy puts it right into the stomach of McNaney. 11 saves for Maryland's keeper and number 1.
Everybody coming into this season, Ben, was kind of wondering, what's it going to look like with the goalie wearing 1? What impact is he going to be able to have? I feel like he's really stepped it up when it's mattered.
Stick lost. Look through the middle. Holmes thought about it, gives it back to Kelly. Maryland gets the reinforcements here.
And at this point, Ben, the clock is your friend.
That's right.
Especially with the talent on the other end. If you can have a long possession that results in a goal like Maryland did last time, that's the best thing for you right now.
If you're Maryland, just can't turn the ball over. That was a problem last week with 18 of them, but better today. Spanos to the left, denied. Kelly on the doorstep. Maryland's up by 4. Number 45 in white, Daniel Kelly, comes through again. And there's confirmation.
Like I said earlier, 45, he just lurks in the middle. He's so opportunistic. And when McCool didn't get all of it, Kelly is right there to scoop up the garbage and stick it right back in. That's the Calvert All Cardinal stepping up again, his second of the game. And that's just leadership. That's just a guy with a high IQ who knows where to be.
And a timeout called. The guys in white pour out onto the field, hyped up. Back to the face-off dot. Maryland has won 11 of 20 today. This is Keithler. It's varied between him and Crater. Mullen has been the only one to take him for the Orange, and he wins this one. Hold called on White. Orange get the ball. This is a massive possession for them. That ball goes on the ground trying to find Dwan, because Syracuse did not have his offensive personnel, and that's a huge mistake.
Just kind of feels like the Bugatti is just parked in the garage right now, in the sense that Syracuse's offense just hasn't seen much of the ball in this second half. And that's what Maryland needed to do to come into this game and really just control the ball, win at the dot, and not turn it over. And in the second half, I'm sure John Tillman has to be very proud of the way that his team has played so far. Because again, you can have the best offense in the world. If they don't get chances to beat you, it doesn't matter.
Maryland has scored 6 of the last 7 goals. This is unbelievable stuff, this run this Maryland team is on. Shot clock at 20. Keegan just flings it wide. Thought McCool might not see it. He did. And he's got 11 saves.
That's really smart from Dwan to just put the ball in the crease and live to fight another day. As we see Syracuse, as they so often do, sub on the O-mids to try to get the ball clear.
Maryland relentless with the ride. Gravino got the ball out. And what's the call here?
Spanos took a big shot.
A flag comes out from the official.
I think it's going to be on Eric Spanos. And if that's the case, that's the gift, that's the opportunity that Syracuse have been waiting for all half.
Now a potential possession for the Orange becomes even more dire, up a man. Just over 7 minutes to go in this game. Syracuse trails by 4. Unfamiliar territory for this Orange team. How do they respond?
The offense for Syracuse, Ben, has scored once this entire second half. This is a golden ticket for them to finally get going again.
Cuse 5 of 8 on man-up opportunities this year. Syracuse keeps it spinning fast. Hiltz from the angle, misses wide. Chase one by Birtwistle. Man up about to come to an end, but still a shot here, maybe. Pass behind the back, goes one more. Spallina to the crease, and a finish on the doorstep by Hiltz. Oh my goodness, the ball was spinning so fast, my head is dizzy. That is incredible from Syracuse, and it's back within 3.
Again, all this behind the back, you know, on the finishes. What really gets me excited about this offense is their ability to pass the ball. They move so well off ball. They give each other such great looks. And that's just team lacrosse. For Hiltz, he scored both of Syracuse's second half goals. And you just wonder, is that going to be the spark that ignites the Orange?
Huge face-off here. What a non-shocking thing to see 51 in white come up with the ground ball.
His 7th, I believe.
Maryland has won 12 face-offs today. That's a big one. Tyler, how does Maryland possess the ball here on this possession?
Play careful team lacrosse, like we've been seeing from them this entire second half. Don't force anything. Don't rush anything. The clock is your friend right now. You're up by 3 with 6 minutes to go. Wait until you get a good shot and try your best to execute from there. And I think 51, if Maryland hangs on, might be my player of the game, because, you know, those 7 ground balls, if they go the other way and Syracuse gets 7 more chances, think about how different of a game this could be.
On the doorstep, ball came loose, 20 on the shot clock. Maryland resets behind the cage with Bryce Ford. Goes around and scores. Bryce Ford again, and Maryland's back up by 4.
Terps love to go back to front. It's so hard to defend them because they're just so good at it. We see it all the time from Spanos, and they get a new piece here in Ford this year out of the portal. He says, don't forget about me. You know, I could do that too. And he's fired up. The whole bench is fired up with him. That's a huge goal with just 5 minutes to go.
4 goals on the young season for Bryce Ford. His brother, the #1 attack recruit in the entire nation, he has not played yet. He might be redshirting.
Yeah,
unsure about that, but his brother has really taken the reins here since coming over from Fairfield.
I see him on the edge of the bench with the backup goalies, so I think Maryland's trying to redshirt him, but you know, he's just so good that if he needs to step in this year, John Tillman might have to play him.
In this situation, Maryland's on the precipice of a very monumental win here at home. Still time, and Cuse can score and score fast. Shot McNaney right into the catching stick. Save number 12 for #1.
And at this point, I think if you're Maryland, you're more worried about that clock than you are scoring again.
Yeah, Kohler wisely, and you can see Larkin saying, let's slow this thing down.
Looks like it's going to be the second line middies that are going to get some run here, and this possession is about possession, Ben. Just hang on to the ball.
Do we see Cuse start to double here, maybe?
I think it is starting to get to a point where you have to, Ben. Because think about what Syracuse needs to do now. They've struggled at the dot in this second half. They're going to need to score 4 times, win the faceoff after each one.
$20 to work with for Stovall.
Now you go.
See how Maryland sets it up. Schultz up the top. Sweeps to the middle. Atkin might just have to shoot this thing in a second. Passes it off one more time, and Maryland just dumps it.
Smart from the freshman.
So 90 seconds go off the clock. Cuse in need of 4 goals.
And Ben, what that allows you to do is sub.
That's right. Here's the ride for Maryland. Ball comes free. Stovall knocked it out. And down on the ground, Atkin, and he has the ball just kicked out by Rice, and flags come out.
You can't lose your head now if you're Maryland. You've already got the man-up opportunity. And I know you may take offense to a hit, Ben, but with 3 minutes left in this situation, you take that man-up opportunity and you get off the field.
Stovall on the ride knocked it out. You have to see what the call is here.
I think it was on the pole there as soon as the camera cut away.
Because Atkin fell down here and Rice.
That was brutal because Maryland was going down the field. I think this is going to be on Dwan, the pole for Syracuse. That's a frustration foul. It was a late hit after the camera cut away.
Tyler, back on Thursday at the coach's show, John Tillman talked about how impressed he was with his team.
Another look at it. You could see at the very end there of that shot, 35 came in and had a really, really hard hit on Daniel Kelly. That's a minute-long penalty. And at this point, you know, if you're Syracuse, you can't even really pressure because you're down a man. So that's such a killer for Dwan, who's a great player.
And this is a 60-second penalty. Maryland can just hold it. Syracuse is going to have to just do whatever it can to try to get the ball out.
But the more risks that you take, you know, the more vulnerable you are, Ben, for Maryland to essentially just end it with another goal.
The game plan execution in this second half, absolutely flawless. It almost felt like Syracuse never had the ball.
And Eric Spanos said that, you know, when we were talking this week, he said, when I asked him, what changed in that second half? What changed in that fourth quarter that allowed Maryland to get going? He said it was all coaches. He gave them all the credit. He said their adjustments and their game plans, they allowed those opportunities to come for Maryland.
Maryland.
And you know, what have we been saying all game long? Keep the ball away from Syracuse's offense. That's exactly what the Terps have done when it's mattered most.
Maryland has outscored Syracuse in this half 7-2. That is unheard of for how good this Cuse offense has been. Shot clock just winding down, and Urksa dumps it away. Maryland can get those middies on. Here they come. See it right to our left.
And that's a win in a possession right there. It's a mountain to climb right now for the heavily favored Orange. So many people doubted Maryland. So many people doubted John Tillman against a team he's never lost to. And the Terps, with bulletin board material, they're a very dangerous team.
To the front, ball's on the ground. Leo picks it up. Syracuse has to score fast. And here's English. Tries to swim around. Nothing doing there on the crease. Spallina goes back to English. Top side, fires and misses wide. Just over a minute left and Maryland up by 4. Tillman preached how impressive it was to not give up 10 goals in a game yet, and Maryland might just do it against one of the best offenses in the entire nation here. Sidewinder, rather around the world attempt from English wide, and Syracuse just throwing everything at the net at this point. To the crease, Hiltz, one more to English, fires wide again. And you just hear cheers coming from Maryland's sideline. And that pass to Stamos, rather, is tipped away.
Maryland is still playing so hard.
Shot clock is winding down. Custis puts behind the back. It's in McNaney's stick. And that's it.
Terps are sending a message to the lacrosse world.
The biggest test all year for this Maryland team after a squeaker last weekend. An unbelievable showing in this second half. One thing's for certain in this one. Maryland took being underdogs at home personally. It takes down number 2 Syracuse here in College Park.